This is section 3, the organizations and people dimension of the practice. The ITIL practice guides do not describe the practice management roles such as the practice owner, practice lead, or practice coach. They actually focus on the specialist roles for each practice. And therefore, we have the two specialist roles here, namely the relationship manager and the relationship agent. Now, these roles may differ from one organization to another. Therefore, these ITIL defined roles are not really mandatory or even recommended. Again, one individual can take on multiple roles, or one role can be assigned to multiple people. These roles work within the context of processes and activities. ITIL has a competency code and profile listing, and let's take a look at that first. ITIL has mainly 5 competency codes, which are L, A, C, M, and T. While this table is not required to be known for the exam as it is outside the exam syllabus, it's still a good thing to understand these 5 competency codes because any jobs within a service organization can be defined based on the competencies that are required for that job or role. For example, if a role requires a leadership competency primarily, followed by administrative, followed by technical expertise, then you could form a combination code LAT. On the other hand, if another role requires technical expertise as a primary skill, and then methods expertise as a secondary one, and communication as a tertiary one, then you would label that code as MCM or MCT, whatever it can be. So you can use these letters to define your code combination for every role. Let us therefore look into the relationship manager and relationship agent roles, which are essential to be known and understood for the exam. The relationship manager, they have the following responsibilities. They are more in a kind of a supervisory role. They develop and maintain relationship models. They also provide communication training and support relationship agents. They review the relationships periodically or based on events. They coordinate the relationship journeys, the 7 steps of the journey that is, and they also manage exceptions in relationship journeys when certain situations arise, which are to be dealt with in a different manner. And there is no need to have a relationship manager role for all relationships. That should be unusual because there will be many such relationship managers for different stakeholder groups, but it is important that all of them follow the same common set of principles or the approach and have a consistent approach. And good coordination and regular alignment between these relationship managers are required to ensure the consistency of the approach. Because relationship management is very human interaction oriented, who performs the role depends on the relationship type. For example, if it is internal relationships, then the team manager, the business line manager, or HR manager would be involved as a relationship manager. For relationship with customers and other consumer stakeholders, the service providers often have dedicated positions such as business relationship manager or a customer relationship manager who would perform the relationship manager role. And however, they may have other job titles such as account managers, business partners, or customer success managers. For relationship with suppliers and partners, the relationship manager can be taken on by the supplier manager or head of procurement or some similar higher level manager in larger organizations. With other important stakeholder groups, the relationship management can be performed by respective dedicated teams, for example, internal compliance and audit team for the external auditors. Now we come to the relationship agent. We can also call this as business relationship agent as a generic term. This person interacts with business stakeholders on behalf of the service provider. Therefore, a person or an employee is never just a service relationship agent, but they combine that with other roles depending on the context or other work that they're doing. For example, users may interact with service desk agents, technical support specialists, or field engineers. And all of these are business relationship agents in the user journey who are interacting with the user. Similarly, customers are likely to interact with product or service owners and managers. Account managers or business partners, IT leaders such as CIO or business analysts, and these would become the relationship agent for the customers. And not only in some cases, relationship manager as well. Sponsors are likely to interact with IT leaders and product owners or managers who would then become the relationship agents for the sponsors. However, all of the above are business relationship agents who influence, maintain, and work to improve the business relationship. Further, the responsibilities of the relationship agent in particular, as compared to the relationship manager, these are maintaining healthy relationships with stakeholders, following the agreed relationship model, coordinating interactions between the stakeholders. For example, a service desk agent or an account manager may coordinate users or customer interactions with other members and teams of the service provider through a service value stream. And also they participate in the management of exceptions to relationship models and participate in relationship reviews. So they can do certain analysis and support the relationship manager in those activities. Now, more on the relationship agent. In some journeys with the stakeholders, this role, both the manager and agent roles can be played by the same person. For example, a business or customer relationship manager would develop and maintain the business relationship model for customers and sponsors, but also act as a relationship agent at some or all steps of the journey, establishing and maintaining good relationships with them. Which means that every member of an organization who interacts with internal and external stakeholder is a relationship agent. And to ensure that relationships are successful and sustainable, every member should consider the relationships aspect of their role in the organization, such as they should understand the relationship context of interactions with other people. They should follow the relationship management principles and approach, and they should know and apply relevant relationship model where applicable, depending on who the stakeholder is. Further, with relationship agent, in most cases, this role is performed by members of the service provider along with other roles. And we have seen that earlier. But for users and customers in particular, every member of the service provider organization who interacts with the stakeholder becomes a relationship agent for that moment or for that situation. And therefore, every touch point where users interact with technical specialists or service desk agents shapes the user experience and user satisfaction. And every interaction of a customer with an account manager, sales representative, or legal team shapes the customer experience and satisfaction. For suppliers, every member of the organization who interacts with the suppliers, such as procurement, financial, or legal team members and teams, they become the relationship agents. In internal relationships, the employee experience is affected by every interaction within the organization, not only with their team and manager. Therefore, all teams in the organization contribute to the employee experience and satisfaction, including HR, payroll, legal, IT, facilities, security, and others.